We're live too, by the way.
Well.
I love being somewhat stoned when I'm on stage. It's
not even a stone thing. It's a physical thing. Because you're not like, whoa, you're just like, it's like this thing, man, right?
Well, it depends. There have been a couple of occasions in which I have overdone it when I didn't mean to. And it's like I can't keep my balance by the end of the night.
I've done that twice.
I can't remember what the fuck lyrics are supposed to go where.
I've done that twice. I remember that's serious. Do you remember when do you verbalize when it happens to people? Or do you just keep it to yourself?
No. I verbalize it.
Me too.
When I'm on stage, as soon as I feel the effect of a fucking gummy, I talk about it.
Yeah.
Because from that point forward, Eric Stone, he kind of giggles about it at this point now. When I make that announcement, anything goes. Anything could fucking happen.
I think that it gives you like a freedom. Like, okay, man, you guys know I'm stoned.
Yeah.
And I'm just whatever happens. That's how fun.
Exactly. Like if you can be drunk, I can be stoned.
Yeah, because I like I said, I watch him like I could do that. I can do a little bit and go for it. Because I've been doing just until I got the edibles, I was just singing sober.
Right.
Coming back, and now it's just like it's a nice.
Well,
but I do get like, oh, guys, it's fucking hitting me hard right now. Just give me a second.
You know what it is? I'm a control freak, and when I position myself in the center of the stage, on my mind, there literally are like 45 fucking things going on. Because we run our own sound, I'm thinking about the sound. I'm thinking about, I'm watching the way the crowd comes in to the first set, and my anxiety is saying, I hope there's going to be enough people. At the same time, I'm thinking about, well, since we don't use a set list, I'm thinking about what order I want to put.
Right.
What song's going to come next. While I'm singing this song, I'm thinking about where I'm going to go with the next song. So it's so much shit going on in my head that I need the weed to bring me down to fucking, to be able to focus.
Cause your conversation, it's like me, it's just real natural.
Oh yeah.
People always crack up that it's like, man, I just don't get how you talk to people between, how you talk. I'm like, you just talk to people.
That's it.
But that's a lesson that you learn after a while.
People are much more appreciative of performers when they're fucking real.
Yeah, man. I make fun of the rock. I call it Rock 101.
Yeah.
I can't hear you 3 times. All those stupid, School of Rock things that shouldn't be taught.
Right.
Just to be natural. It's just funny, man. All those you're in a I don't know if you call I never call the venue. When the people are in the venue, I never say the name of the venue. I don't call the people the name of the venue.
Right.
I just say people, okay. Friends, whatever. It's just silly to be in a,
yeah, but you're
Chucky's Wing Shack and be like, yo, what's up, Chucky's Wing Shack?
I'm a cover band. You're an original band. So
you do that?
Yeah, man. Like if I'm playing at Connolly's, when I talk to the crowd, I talk to them as I speak to them as Connolly's.
Okay.
And I'll address them as Connolly's because for my portion of the music industry section, it's important that I'm constantly giving recognition to the venues that are paying my salary every 6 weeks.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I get that.
And so, but that all comes from the whole social media aspect of promoting the bands and my band too. Is every time I ever post a promo for a venue for a gig, I always tag the venues. Yeah. It's a cross-pollination of the algorithm. But let's get to why we're here.
Yeah.
Why we're here.
Yeah.
So welcome everybody to the special edition of the Shovelhed podcast. It is Thursday, July 24th. And I'm hanging out with my buddy Ray from Spread Eagle.
That's right.
He called me day before yesterday when we all got the news about Ozzy's passing. And the week prior, we were going to do a podcast just on the concert, the Back to the Beginning concert, and discuss, the entirety of the whole thing and our thought process. And then, of course, Tuesday night, we got that news, or Wednesday. I don't remember when the hell it was. And Ray called me up. He's like, dude, let's do it Thursday. You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So I want to welcome you guys to the special Ozcast edition. And we're going to just talk about fucking Ozzy today. I don't know, maybe we'll go an hour and a half or something like that. But we
might weave, you know, might
weave.
The new thing is to weave like the Don.
Do you remember, what was your, so it's so fucking funny. Like, most smokers, if you ask them if they remember their first cigarette, they can say yes. Right. And they can tell you the exact moment that they smoked their very first cigarette and what went around it. Music for me is the exact same way. So like I have an Ozzy Osbourne introduction experience story from my end, but let's hear yours. Do you remember your first Ozzy experience and what went on?
Well, would you mean Ozzy or Black Sabbath experience?
Either way. So for me, Ozzy. For sake of today's conversation, when we talk about Ozzy, right, the totality of Ozzy, so we can discuss Ozzy solo, right, Ozzy Sabbath, you know.
Right. Well, first for me, as a young teen, really young. No, actually, it might have been like 12 or 13. Whatever. When my friend Steve Collins was our local DJ, he was the kid that could buy albums. And he turned me on you'd go to his house and it was oh my God moments at Steve's house. So,
everybody's sitting on his bed listening. Yeah.
He'd gotten, we didn't do the early Sabbath catalog as kids, but we sold our souls for rock and roll.
Right.
He'd gotten that. And first of all, I was just, the fact that it's Ozzy and that they called it rock and roll. There's no metal. There's no, it was just, it's rock and roll. It's rock and roll. And he played, we were stoned all the time. Our parents were gone in the daytimes. So we smoked all this weed and he put on the song Black Sabbath. And he had these big speakers and we would just get stoned and sit in the middle of it, and have tennis rackets at the ready, to just fucking go. But he played when you had down, down, down. What so is evil, this? Man. I was like, we were all like, what the fuck, man? It attacked me. It got into my DNA.
Yeah.
And up until that, I was raised on, like everybody else, the Jackson 5, the Osmonds, all that shit, Stones. You get into, but something about that, it affected me physically. And we would just sit there every day and just play the track from beginning to end, front to back, man. And we would just play it over and over again. It just affected us so much as kids, man.
I got that that was a Columbia House tape for me.
Okay. So a tape.
It was fucking great. Yeah. Cause it was the best, it's the best of, so you get all this great shit in there.
Yeah, man. But that's how it affected me. And from then on, it was just, we ate the catalog, whatever I could digest. I went back to Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath and all that stuff, and I just ate that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
And then, you witnessed, I think it was on the Midnight Special or something. I don't know if they were on or not. Maybe it was Don Kirshner's rock concert, whatever. And you see Ozzy and the vibe of it.
You see, but even the discussion, as we start to discuss this, the details of our formative years coming out, like this is what I miss now. Like where's the variety show?
Yeah, man.
Where's the
Midnight
Tom
Special
Snyder fucking interviews and the good shit. The good shit. It was so hard to find back then. Now everybody's got a podcast. So.
Right. I think visually, people are so ADD'd now.
Yeah.
But it's sad that that's gone. I mean, I would love I'm going to call ourselves the Ozzy generation.
Yeah.
Not the generation. Actually, we're the Ozzy generation. That's what we should be called because we grew up on that.
Correct.
Right. So, I don't know why it's like that, but I do miss all that. The Tom Snyders, who was the guy in the afternoon? Phil Donahue.
Phil Donahue, yeah.
There was
all that shit.
Yeah. And there was Merv Griffin. There was all these people that had these cool shows that people would, the daytime talk shows where it was, well, everybody had a variety show.
Think about even, with all the controversy going on now, and I'm not going to get political with this, but the shakeup going on with the fucking late night talk shows.
Yeah, man.
Where we've all, like, entertainers have seen it for years, that like since Leno was gone and since Letterman retired, those 3 fucking late night shows have turned to garbage. But it used to be like my dad had fucking TV Guide, like was subscribed to TV Guide.
Yeah, we had that too. We had that.
When that would fucking show up, I would look to see who the musical artist was. And then and if they were somebody I loved, I would beg my parents to stay up so that I could watch those fucking live performances, because you couldn't see them. You couldn't get that anywhere. Like, I couldn't just go on YouTube and fucking find, whoever.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't look up an Ozzy Osbourne live concert. The only way to get it was bootleg VHS tapes back then, remember? And
it's cool to see those old clips, you know, but you were going about the first experience for you.
Yeah. Oh, the first. So here's I
want to get to that.
The weird fucking story about that is, so I was, when the first Ozzy album dropped was 1980, and I was 9 years old. So it was, I was too young to understand it, and I didn't have any older brothers. Okay. So, my life, you know, revolved around the whatever was on fucking, whatever I was recording on Sundays with, Casey Kasem's American 200 Countdown, you know.
Casey, he talk like this. Now, number one song for today.
But then, you know, by the time I was 14 and I first started getting into, to music, the thing to do back then was trading records and tapes. You know, I had somehow acquired a copy of the Scorpions Blackout. And of course I only got it because the fucking cover was cool. You know, the guy screaming with the forks in his eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I loved it. I mean, it was a great album, but at that time it wasn't my cup of tea. So I traded it, and what I traded it for was fucking this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was a live, you know, Black Sabbath Live Evil. And I didn't know at that time anything about the band. So I didn't know that this was Ronnie James Dio. And I didn't know Dio from Ozzy. I didn't know that there was a difference. But I fell in love with this live album and the dark nature of the Dio years. And so somebody you know, when I was a kid had said to me, yeah, but that's not Black Sabbath. And I'm like, well, what do you know? So it's like the same as the David Lee Roth, fucking Sammy Hagar, Brian Johnson.
There's the seed. There's the original organic thing that everything
that built it.
Yeah. Like these four guys got together and did this thing. You're like, holy shit.
And so then that's when I went backwards.
Oh, okay.
And going backwards through the entire Black Sabbath catalog, my ultimate favorite fucking album is probably the worst produced album out of all of them.
What you got?
Sabotage.
Oh, wow.
It's the box set. So like I bought box sets because when there's so much extra shit on both box sets.
That's cool.
The album is produced terribly. And I didn't know it until I read an article like a month and a half ago that they hated each other during the recording of the record. And I guess you can hear the angst in the songs, and that's why I like them so much. Hole in the Sky, and you know, Supernaut. Yeah, man, there, right?
That was cool to hear.
Megalomania, System of the Universe. The songwriting was way different than the first couple of records, and where like War Pigs is considered
it's a classic.
Now it's considered a pop rock song. Like, here's the fucked up thing, dude. I play War Pigs out.
I know, I've done that with you.
When we play War Pigs out, the crowd goes fucking crazy. If I'd have done that 15 years ago, they would have been like, what are you playing this fucking shit for?
You know, I was thinking about that earlier. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I get to jam it with you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's funny that like a place like, you know, in Sebastian, the people are all milling about, they're watching you, but something happens when you play that song. They all congregate.
Starts the roll.
Yeah, they all congregate. And they know every word. You know, it's ingrained into the, you know.
That's not true. So
you know what I mean?
I giggle about this at every single gig. The part where it's, oh, Lord, yeah.
Right.
Nobody ever fucking puts it in the right spot. So the verse goes
I probably
8 measures, right? Instead of 4. But everybody does the, oh, Lord, yeah, on the 4th measure instead of the 8th measure where it's supposed to be. And it cracks me up because every time we play it, I'm at the peak of my stonedness.
Yeah.
And so when I hear them go, "Oh Lord, yeah," in the wrong place, like I lose my shit. Like I start laughing uncontrollably, and it's hard for me to actually get back into the groove of the song.
I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm laughing with you guys, by the way.
No, but you know what the thing is I fucking love playing the song. And the weird thing is that specific song, we played at Cagney's once, and the video now has something like 490,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is crazy, you know, because we play a lot of hit songs. Why that one resonates, but the Black Sabbath, I think Sabbath, there was a smartness to Sharon Osbourne, which clearly we'll get into that in part of this discussion too, in creating the persona of Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, she built him back up when he was, you know, broken down at his most.
Most,
you know, she
created so
which was a Herculean task at the time.
My father was my parents were born again, and I was not allowed to own an Ozzy Osbourne album. They would not
that's
let
weird
me
to me.
bring it in the house, and so my actual first Ozzy Osbourne album was Ultimate Sin. And at that time, that was 86, and I was 14 at that time, just discovering the stuff. And I resonated to the Ozzy MTV Ozzy, which was the Ultimate Sin Ozzy, flamboyancy, and he was glamming it up and all that other shit.
Through MTV, we all got to know him. You know, right. Obviously, really know them with that show and everything. So,
and then I discovered that my second Ozzy album was this one, the Randy Rhoads tribute record, which this is original. This is it's still got the poster inside and all the other shit in there. But
look at that. You could roll your weed on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had this guitar player at the time that was a really, really big a friend of mine. I wasn't a good musician at all at this point. I was too young, but this guy, Derek, that I knew, was big into Rhodes and big into Malmsteen, and turned me on to this. And when I got this, and the first time I heard like Goodbye to Romance live,
oh yeah,
I was like, oh my God, wow. You know, like how did I miss this shit? But I was too young. Yeah. I was too young.
The way you handle melodies, you know, you listen to things like Changes and stuff like that. See, when I was a kid, that really affected me. You know, I got it. You just knew it was special, you know, but we'll talk about that in a minute too. It's funny. I love Blizzard of Oz. I watched Ozzy when he came over, and I worked as a valet in this place called the Sunrise Musical Theater, which is down in Fort Lauderdale. And so we worked as kids in the valet because that was the way that we would see bands. Right. It was free basically. So, he did 2 nights with Def Leppard opening. I think it was the first time they had come over to America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they did 2 nights. And when he first came out,
a High and Dry album.
Yeah. It was amazing. He first came out, and, the sound was incredible, but his mic there was a glitching. And then when it opened up, he was very professional. He kept going. He didn't stop. And when they finally got his mic hot and it was on, it was just opened up this great sound, man. But the presence that he had, you know, after Sabbath, I know Sabbath because Sabbath went on the way, you know, they were kind of on the way down. And I remember, also when I was, back in the day, Van Halen opened for Sabbath and blew them off the fucking stage.
There's lots of Tony Iommi interviews talking about how they destroyed Sabbath,
you know, but then they got resurrected again through Ozzy having his career.
Right.
You know, so everybody owes people. I saw a comment on the YouTube thing about Back to the Beginning. It was like, it was just something derogatory, not realizing that I think it was about Dio and, you know, Ian Gillan, all the other singers that came along, but this was about Ozzy and Black Sabbath and that portion. So that's why, you know, I respected the fact that it wasn't about Dio or Ian Gillan and his time with Oz, you know, with Black Sabbath.
At first, for the Back to the Beginning concert, prior to seeing it, I didn't watch it. I watched it after the fact, because in my mind, I was seeing a Sharon Osbourne money grab, and I was wrong.
Right.
You know, like I was totally wrong. And my opinion at that time was that this whole fucking thing is just a cash grab, you know, and that's only because I'm watching all the guys that we grew up with now last touring it and cash grabbing it to the last maximum and selling out their catalogs and all this other shit.
13 farewell tours later.
Farewell tours. Yeah. So you know, my original take on it was that it was not really an homage to Ozzy Osbourne. And then after I spoke to you and you were like, no, dude, you got to watch it.
Man.
I sat down and I watched it with a clear mind. And I said, okay, let's watch this for the artists saying thank you.
Right.
You know, and I loved it all. The standout one for me was fucking Youngblood.
Oh yeah, I mean,
dude, honest to God, and listen, I'm not a Youngblood fan because he's built his career off of covers. You know, right. He just keeps redoing covers and shit. But his rendition of Changes that night was unfucking, like, I have chills now thinking about it.
It's funny to me that it took a festival in the UK that gave us Sabbath and gave us Zeppelin and gave us the Beatles to make this happen. This kid steps out there. Obviously, he's big over there.
Right.
You know, and Sharon and Ozzy obviously loved him, you know, but it's cool to watch a moment when someone gets on and has their moment on stage, not just at a concert, but it's piped out to billions of people around the world, and to watch him make the most of the moment. Right. And he's young, and to watch a young voice appreciate Ozzy's melodies and stuff, you know, and just to watch somebody blow up like that. Right. He's such a great singer, and he seems really sincere.
There's what I'm curious. You sparked something in me. What I'm really curious to see now, there's going to be a mad rush of documentaries. There's going to be a mad rush of the life of Ozzy's and books and biographies and all this other shit. Over the next 2 years, you're going to see flood the market of it. What I hope somebody comes out with is something that's more biopic about how he wrote his music.
Yeah, man.
Because I would like to know, out of all the years and all the people that he's worked with and all the guys that have written songs and all the controversy about who wrote what and who didn't write what and who blah, blah, blah. I would love to have known what Ozzy's process was. Like, how did he sit and write?
Right, because there was a few interviews where he discussed writing with Randy, and it was more like, you know, presenting riffs, and they would just play off each other. Yeah, you know, in a room sometimes it's with an acoustic, as I like to do, you know. But his process, I would like to know that too, because the lyrical content of Ozzy is really impressive when you really get into it, especially the early Sabbath stuff and the, you know, over the mountains kind of commercial as a song, but the lyrics are great. Yeah. It's all about positivity and inspiration. You know, Suicide Solution, he got taken to court without that bullshit. That, yeah. You know, and my question is, why is it important? Why is Sabbath important? Why is Ozzy important? You know, because people have a million things to do in their lives, but Sabbath created a culture, you know, that was dangerous, and it was cool, but it was also very positive. And
they changed the landscape.
Yeah, man.
Like, there'd be no Metallica if there was never a Black Sabbath.
Yeah, and James Hetfield said that. I was like, wow, you know, that's rich, and it's respectful, you know. But if it wasn't for Sabbath, the genre maybe wouldn't even be what it is.
It wouldn't, because at the time frame. So let's go back to when Sabbath introduced themselves to the fucking world. The Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin were, you know, charting all over the fucking place. The Beatles were still all over the fucking place. So to go to, essentially, you're going from, you had all this popish kind of music where even Zeppelin was very poppy in a way, you know, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, it's that sort of
like boom. And I remember, you know, when I as I go through the whole catalog of all the things that have transpired in my life since Sabbath to Ozzy, the influences of the people that he worked with. Like I wasn't never a good enough guitar player to be fascinated with Randy Rhoads. However, the first time I heard Neon Nights and I heard Geezer Butler playing that fucking bass line in there, I was like, it's the first time I noticed the bass as the instrument that carried the song. And now granted that's Dio, you know, but there would be no Dio
Right.
If there was never an Ozzy.
And let me interject,
people are going to say that's not fucking true because of, Rainbow and shit like that. But the truth is,
Sabbath was Dio's platform.
Correct.
For his career. You know what I mean? When you step in as a singer to someone else's gig like that, I remember, and again, I saw Sabbath that with Ozzy when they were on their way, but I saw them with Dio when they just came out with the Heaven and Hell tour. And that blew my mind. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I didn't know he was in Deep Purple. Then you go back and you go into the Deep Purple catalog with that. That's probably going to come around one day too.
Absolutely. See, now that's the other beauty of those artists of the 70s was there were so many, the English bands were all working with each other some way, one way, form or another. Their, artists, songwriters were being shared, guys were guesting on other guys' albums. And
right.
You remember instead of it just being cookie cutter, fast produced music, there was actually stories and history and the things. What made it exciting for me was the time in between albums, because the time in between albums, you would get all the stories in the magazines, Hit Parader and Cream.
But that's a whole different culture and lifestyle now, right? But
but that was our lives.
Yeah.
That was our Ozzy lives.
And I think all that came together with the Back to the Beginning Fest. Like it brought all the nostalgia, that's why it was important that they did that, because we've had the discussion. I know you play local and you do well. Florida's a great rock and roll place. You mine good places to play.
Right.
But, the rock music, I feel, has gone underground nationally. Yeah. So there's pop and there's hip hop and there's country rock and there's country pop and there's everything's just this homogenous thing. And then there's still rock and roll. That's why the festival was important, to put heavy music back into the conversation.
Yeah.
The fact that Ozzy passed away, which is after, but now he's in the news and it goes all the way up because Ozzy was that big. He was bigger than Ozzy. He was this thing. He was an idea, so I think the festival was really important. And as accidental as it was, we needed something to wake people up to what's out there and rock and roll. So
but do you think it's enough, or do you think that people are just going to look at it as nostalgia?
I think that we live in an ADD place. Everything's fast. It's snippets of this, snippets of that. So that's why people got to grab and just run with it. And we take what we can. It's a very momentary thing.
Yeah.
We do live in the moment. And I feel we should just take that and I'll write it out for as long as I live. I preach this thing for as long as I live, man. You're going to play in bands till you drop. I'm going to probably be on stage and have a heart attack.
That's fucking true, though.
That's how it works.
And it's these guys that made it that way for us.
Yeah. And Ozzy, and I'll go back to the festival too, but Ozzy passing away wakes up mortality.
Right. Because here's the fucked up, dude. You say that. And I was always fascinated by like, Beatles fangirls, how they would faint and, all that kind of shit. And so in my, life, I was never fanboy enough for any singular person that their death would affect me on such a level that like I have a couple of friends that actually cried and told me they cried. And I was like, really? Like,
yeah, I mean that's a little deep. That's a little far. It's extreme. I say the same thing because I used to work in a record store as a kid.
Me too.
Right. So that was our world, man. Like you mentioned Scorpions. I remember getting that album in red vinyl.
Oh,
that's the coolest fucking thing.
Yeah.
But my store manager, when John Lennon passed away or got murdered or whatever, he closed the shop and he cried for like 2 or 3 days. We couldn't get a hold of him or nothing. So it's funny how people just do attach themselves,
Yeah.
When I listen to all kinds of music, and there's a song that I grew up with. It's called, I guess you wonder where I've been. Search to find, it's not the Bobby Caldwell song.
Yeah.
When he passed away, for some reason, that really affected me deeply because it's a song that's in you, we hear all the time. It
has a deeper meaning.
So I teared up a little bit for that too. But I mean, some people just get like that. I don't think I build a wall for myself not to get all broken down with things like that, but I feel it deeply.
Yeah.
So it does, I had a moment I had to pull over. I was, somebody texted me. I told you, I thought it was fake. So I had to just sit there for 10 minutes. I'm like, Ozzy's not dead.
Yeah,
He just did back to the beginning.
I was sitting outside doing something. I forget what the fuck I was doing, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I see it on Facebook, and of course, I don't believe fucking anything on Facebook. So of course, you got to go to the news now. And I start typing it in. Sure enough, I was like, I walked inside. I'm like, "Holy shit, babe, Ozzy died."
Yeah, and Facebook is so me that you put out a post, and so then everybody has to put out a post. Right. Doesn't matter. You're gonna get inundated because this is what I think.
It's funny that you say that because yesterday I tried to stay off.
Yeah, it's hard
because it's inundated with Ozzy posts. Like, of course, everybody's got an Ozzy story. Everybody's got a favorite song or a favorite lineup. Or actually, I did this morning right before you came over. I put a post up that listed all the guitar players, listed all the bass players, listed all the drummers, and listed all the keyboard players. And I said, build your own favorite Ozzy band.
Right.
And I, out of these guys, pick your own. And almost everybody chose the original lineup of Ozzy's solo band, which was Bob Daisley and Lee Kirshner, who got royally fucked by Sharon over the years.
Wow.
And
did you read the Ozzy bio?
I did not.
It's great.
No.
I have it.
Yeah?
I'll get it to you.
Who was it written by, though?
It was, I don't know who did the writing on it, but it's his voicing.
Oh.
So he must have either been talking to someone and taping things and they transcribed it.
Right.
But it's in his voice. It's his voicing. It's a biography.
Oh, I'll check it out. Yeah.
Is Auto when you write it?
Autobiography is when you write.
Okay, so it's an autobiography. It's real. I think it's I Am Oz or something like that. But it's a great read, man. And my problem is I don't remember things well anymore.
Yeah.
So I can read something and have it, just lose the information. Right. So now I'm always like, I do audiobooks a lot.
Okay.
Because you can get the information. But we keep digressing from the festival itself, and I don't know. So you didn't watch it the day of, but everybody that I know that watched it had a million things to do on Saturday, whatever it was. And everybody kept texting me going, man, I can't get off the couch.
Oh,
they were glued. They were just glued. So it's one of those things like, where were you, when this festival happened? So to me, it's important.
There were actually a bunch of bands that weren't on it that I expected to be on it. And I was shocked that they weren't there, but you can't.
Like who? Who do you think?
Megadeth, for one. I was surprised that they didn't get invited. I was more shocked about guys like Steven Tyler. Like, why?
Yeah, there must have been some sort of connection between him and Sharon. I bet him and Ozzy somehow.
Yeah, because it didn't, I love Aerosmith and I love Steven Tyler, but it didn't make sense to me.
It didn't make sense that, he got really fucked up and he, survived his own shit. Ozzy got fucked up and survived his own shit. Okay. So it kind of made that was the connection I made,
Yeah, if you go with the drug and alcohol connection, that works. Yeah.
But I mean, I know, Wolfgang Van Halen was supposed to be, he wasn't.
Right.
There's no Deep Purple. There's no other, those.
Well, I would have loved to have seen Volbeat.
Okay.
Yeah. I know people are going to say there's no way you hear Ozzy and Volbeat, but I do. I hear the influence in some of his stuff. I would have loved to have seen them play there. And even more contemporaries, like not a Gene Simmons, not a Paul Stanley, not a
I think this is just Sabbath based and people that Sharon and Ozzy, I guess, just had in their book. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it would have been a 3-day festival. It would have been crazy logistically. Yeah, there's people's schedules and stuff like that. But everybody dropped me to see Metallica there was big because they dropped everything to go do that. I was blown away that Tool did it. That was great. But you got the beginning. I think it's Rival Sons is a great band. I think of all the new.
I'm going to start doing some of their stuff my Black Crows tribute wants to spread our wings and do some other stuff.
That's a great idea, man. Because that kid, his vocals are amazing.
Yeah.
And you could pretty much sing anything. So, I don't put that past you at all. I can't,
but I try.
But, it's cool to see a band like that, getting a lot of respect.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're on that stage, I think if everyone yes, there are a lot of other bands, but kind of just had to be satisfied with what they put together.
I agree. No, I agree. I just at the end of the day, I was like, some of the choices I was a little like, what? And then other things I was like, I would have rather have seen, I read the Nikki Sixx statement, and honestly, the Motley Crue is more than just Nikki Sixx. So why couldn't Vince show up? And I mean, the stories of the '80s with fucking Ozzy and Motley Crue.
Yeah, I think
have nobody there.
I think even just to bring, even though Vince is having a hard time vocally, everybody says, just to have him sing something easy,
or introduce, or like,
but when you do the Warren Von Kruk Fest, and you do it, you'll be able to organize, it's true. It's out of our hands,
When you're organizing shit like that too, there are a million details that you don't think about until after the fact anyway.
So. And you're an organizer. You're an event guy. You're always thinking like that. So that's amazing to me. Mom was like, I just had a good time. I watched. It was great.
Did you already say this? Did you say Blizzard of Oz or Diary? Which out of Ozzy's solo material, what was your favorite?
I loved the Blizzard of Oz record because to me, it was the introduction to the stuff, and it was his coming out party, and I think Suicide Solution is on there, and Mr. Crowley, right?
I have Blizzard of Oz.
I Don't Know is on there, and I think of all the Ozzy solo songs, I love I Don't Know a lot.
Yeah, I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Goodbye to Romance.
Goodbye to Romance is amazing.
Suicide Solution, Mr. Crowley. No Bone Movies. Actually, that I always loved that
song.
Man. Always loved that song.
And I got to see him perform that live. Actually, at that show with Def Leppard opening, he did Over the Mountain as an encore. And he goes, this is a song that we're, it's going to be in the next album, etc. And they played it. We were like, whoa.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be fucking good too, Then you get into Ultimate Sin and all that stuff, which Hailstorm did, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I like Hailstorm.
It seemed to me that, getting back to the artists that did the festival, it was like who was popular now,
right?
Who's the big cheese?
No Taylor Swift.
Nah, man, no. That would have been.
I missed that.
But
Taylor Swift wore pigs.
But Lizzie Hale did dress up like Taylor Swift. I was like, what's that dress? It looked like a dress with a boner on it.
Yeah.
But she's great. She's gotten a lot of cred because she's just great. That band's good live, man. And
Hailstorm?
I don't know.
Her voice is fucking crazy.
I like her, and I like In This Moment a lot as far as female fronted.
Yeah.
Women that can growl things. There's women that rock once they grab onto like the growling and that masculine rock energy as well. That's unstoppable because they got great ranges, man.
Yeah.
They can. So
Yeah, they get.
If you're born a female, if you're born female and you can sing, you can make money.
Oh yeah.
Whether you become famous or not, I don't know. But who else was? Oh man, is it pronounced Gojira?
I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. I have no idea.
Man, I've only.
I have to listen to them more because they're
heavy.
The Grammy thing blew me away. And then to do this, they were fucking amazing. They were great.
Yeah, I think like I said, this was a festival too where it opened a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
Because you're young blood, again, man, that kid's, my better half, Susie, she is turned on. She has the whole catalog now. She knows all about him, where he's from, what he's about. I mean, so he's really like affecting people, and with his following, I think he's going to open up a lot of young eyes, and that's going to bridge the gap. We need something that bridges the gap
and it has to be English because the American version of a Youngblood is a fucking machine gun cannon, and I can't deal with that crap.
There's a great snippet, a great post. It's the testosterone of anyway, rock and roll back then. It shows Pantera. Yeah. Then it goes like now, and it shows Machine Gun Kelly. I'm like, oh my god, it's so sad. That's why again, you want to pass it down to the younger generation, and that's why I think this festival was important because it matters to me and you because we play in bands and we go out and try to give this positive energy to people. And that's
it was so good. I'll buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, man.
So that I can, cause I try to keep. I have a fucking. They can't see it on here, but I try to keep a lot of shit alive. I have a lot of DVDs, live concerts, and fucking biographies.
Cool library
and shit like that. And I do what I'll find. Like I'll get up, set in my mood with a gummy, and my wife goes to work, and I'll go put on. Yes, help yourself.
Sorry, man.
And I will, and I'll put on like fucking Journey Live. or Yes Live or Boston fucking concert, and let the whole concert go, and it totally sets my day. Because it's more than just the music. It's also the live experience each time.
And the live experience feels good. So you take that with you, like, oh man, that's a shot of live energy.
That's how I keep the asshole of me at bay.
That's it, man.
Put the music on.
And they're always in the back, man.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
No, and I don't know, man. Music for me, it's the 24/7. I need it constantly. I need it on all the time. If it was shooting videos, I'd have it playing in the background now, except that it gets flagged for copyright infringement. So
I was going to ask you, sorry to go.
You kept notes? You made notes?
Dude, I'm
fucking impressed.
Bro, Jack Black. I want to talk about Jack Black.
Yeah.
Because Jack Black has that Tenacious D thing. And I don't know whether it's parody or comedy or whatever.
Jack Black's voice.
But I think he's sincere.
Yes.
And so when he does it, I was like, this is fucking silly. But then you listen. And then you listen, you're like, oh my God, he's so intensely sincere about it. But listen to
some of his Tenacious D shit, which is jokeified, but the songs are written seriously. Like
the world's greatest.
There's a Kung Fu one that the world's greatest song is fucking great. The song is great.
Yeah, it's epic, man. Ode to Dio and all that stuff. Ode to
Dio. Like, I love Jack Black. My wife hates him. She can't stand him. She sees the sight of him and she's like, fuck it. I know I don't want nothing to do with it. But the guy's voice is fucking outrageously
He's great.
Intense.
And he can sing, man.
Yeah.
I think because he has a no fucks given attitude.
Yeah,
with that, he can sing anything confidently. It doesn't matter what it is. You could probably do Pavarotti easily, or what I mean.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think plus he's got the acting.
Man,
performer where like anything goes.
Yeah, and acting is very. I don't know if you've ever tried to take an acting lesson or but in a class. It's very. It's about just not giving a shit.
Right.
Having
the freedom to not care.
And so many people just get boxed in by fear of what people think about what they're doing and what they're saying, that guys like that, Jack Black, really bring it out that it's awesome and very freeing.
Yeah.
Just to be like that. And that's cool.
You don't have to be, Well, see, that's me. That's for me when I'm on stage.
You're most free.
I'm the most free. And I am the most authentic me because it's not a put on. Somebody asked my wife the other day, she's like, how the fuck does he see with sunglasses on at night all the time? And number one, 90% of the time my eyes are fucking closed.
Yeah, man. This is one of the rare times I don't have my sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Actually, you know me, bro.
I said, I wore my glasses specifically. I usually take them off, but I wanted to be able to read, some of the comments as they came through because I don't ever get to fucking do it. And,
people actually watching
Jimmy
us?
Robinette said, I love you, Ray. Aaron Pearson was talking about when he first got his bass, his goal was to play for Saturday Night Live Band or Max Weinberg 7. Jimmy Murphy, Ray is old school cool.
I'm watching Murphy. Wow. Yeah, man. Okay.
It's surprising that what I learned about the podcasting is they won't all stay on for the full. I have some folks that will watch it for their lunch break.
Right.
I have some other friends that will go back and watch it in pieces. I have some friends that will watch it for whatever amount of time that they're, scrolling through the thing. But it gets the live stream ones get better views.
That's all. And for me, this is really super therapeutic. So even if there was like just a camera that wasn't even plugged in, right, I would just do it anyway. Just talk to it.
Well, you know what? This is the real reason why I started doing this. And even Brian Hill, who I had on yesterday, he's the Bubble Up Guitar Works. He does fixes our guitars and does our setups. And the week before that, I had Eric Winger from Kiss Alive here. And the week before that was you and Karen Laser. And the thing is that when everybody leaves, everybody comes thinking it's going to be kind of a, interview type style fucking thing. And that's not what this was about. It's about, I don't ever get to hang out. Number one, I don't get to hang out because my schedule doesn't really allow me to go see other bands as often as I would like to. And there's all the other parts of life, being married, having a house, you know, doing all these other fucking things, my health and all this other stuff that gets involved with that. But so, and you know, my friends are all over the fucking place. You're on the road, and I don't ever know when you're home. You know, so if I don't, or other, you know, other friends coming in, like the Jamie Ryan from High Mileage, I don't get to sit down and have the conversations
right.
that my
this is
my
like that.
soul kind of needs, the one-on-one with people that I don't get to have, because at a gig, it's all work.
Yeah.
At the end of the gig, like my body hurts. I'm 54 now, so my body hurts so bad that I just want to get fucking home and put an ice pack on, or jump in a hot tub and go to bed,
and that feeling will continue. Trust me.
Yeah. So, you know, like, I love these. I love setting them up. If I could do them every fucking day, I would do one every single fucking day.
It'd be like Joe Rogan.
Well, the beauty part of it too is that we'll get back to Ozzy here too. The beauty part of the thing is that I don't ever put a hard time limit on it. Like yesterday, I got interrupted by my exterminator came for her monthly, you know, extermination thing.
Yeah.
And knocked on the door, but we were going for an hour and a half, and you don't even realize.
Well, that's why, you know, you mentioned that, and you and I really, we chat at your gigs and hang a little bit, but we don't chat like this.
It's not like this.
You know, that's why it's cool. You know, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and one of his friends was like, you know, we don't get to talk unless we do this.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
No, but it's cool because it keeps you on track, sort of.
Yeah. And I have to do things like this. You know, I need to talk. The thing is, a lot of people will say they're going to do things like this, but they don't. You've actually put the podcast together. You set yourself up.
Yeah, but it took me fucking forever.
Yeah,
because it's the same thing. I'll wake up today. I wake up in the morning and I'll say, man, I want to start a podcast.
Right.
And I'm like,
what do I do?
Fucking, I gotta promote it. I gotta set it up. I gotta buy lights. I gotta buy microphones. I gotta figure this. Fuck this shit. You know, but then I say, all right, let's do the first one. Just do the first one, because if I do the first one, then I will force myself to get into a habit to do.
That's it, man. You give yourself a goal, you knock it out. One step at a time.
And then make it a habit. You know, it's the only way for me to succeed in anything is to make a habit out of whatever it is that I'm fucking doing.
Right.
You know, and my hope is, you know what, we're just a fucking little Vero Beach, you know, Treasure Coast cover band with a pretty good reach around Florida, and my
give Florida a reach around.
Yeah, Florida reach around. No, my whole purpose of this really is like Caitlin, who books Connolly's, manages Connolly's, had said to me, she sent me a message after the first time you and I sat down, and she's like, this is really fucking good. She's like, because it humanizes you, and you know, because a quick post. You post something on Facebook and people don't know whether I'm joking, whether I'm angry, whether I'm, you know, there's no.
Right. They don't know if it's camouflage.
They're right. And 99.9% of what I post, it has a camouflage to it. Even when I'm being negative or nasty or whatever, there's still a camouflage to it. There's a thought process.
Because you're editing yourself a little bit.
Correct.
You know, when you do that.
And so when I get to do this, and here's the God's honest truth is, when I sit and I talk with people, I totally forget that camera's on. And it's even there, you know, like I don't look at it. It's you and I having a conversation, and hopefully it's interesting enough for other fucking people to want to be. Yeah, man. I think we're two of many. I think there's a lot of people like us. So it's important that we just do this and you pick up one person at a time sometimes. You know, someone goes, oh, they're doing that. Let's see what that is. You know, I think conversation is important no matter who you are, no matter who you are or what you're doing. But I think music, we think music is important. Yeah. So we need to do this, you know. Have you met anybody? Only Ozzy. Yeah. I played something called the Concrete Foundations Forum back in the day, and it was I remember that they're a big PR company, and they did these things out in LA. So all the bands, I remember our first experience. My band, we had the bus, we pulled up to Franklin Avenue apartments, and it's where they housed all the bands. So you'd see, like, you know, you're walking by the room, the doors are open, hey, Extreme, hey, you know what's up, yeah, and it was crazy. We played with Pantera.
Alice in Chains, Judas Priest was there. It was who's who. It was it was a heavy metal rock and roll convention. So I get in an elevator. When you get there, they hand you your own bottle of booze. They don't offer you a drink. You can just grab a bottle of booze.
Okay.
So everyone's walking around with Jack Daniels, or I had a bottle of Cuervo. I don't know why I had it, but I was drinking a lot of tequila then.
Oh God.
But you're walking around with it. Hey man, what's up? You want a shot? You know what I mean?
You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Tequila is the only alcohol that is not a depressant.
Okay, so that's me, Mr. Happy.
Stimulant. So that's probably why you.
So I was in a great fucking mood. I was like feeling my rock starness at the time, thinking I was hot shit. So I'm thinking I'm all hot stuff. Actually, I interviewed Lemmy while I was there too. It was for Metal Edge magazine.
No shit.
Yeah,
Jerry Ryan.
And he took my glasses for the interview. It was very funny.
Jerry Miller.
She hooked everything up. She's the one that hooked me up with the phone call with Sebastian one day back in the day. But anyway, staying on course here. So I'm getting in an elevator and hold. Okay, what's up? We're all trying to get upstairs. Ozzy comes in with two handlers and somebody else. I don't know who the fuck it is. Drunk out of his fucking gourd, man. And you know how when people get in elevators, it gets quiet?
Yeah.
Everyone's quiet, but Ozzy
top of his lungs, right?
He's like, what the fuck is this quiet shit? And he tells the joke. I forgot what the fucking joke was, but it broke everybody up. And it was just like, a 30-second ride with Ozzy, but it was my moment with Ozzy. I'm like, I held court with Ozzy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was crazy. I never got to meet him again. I wish I did.
Yeah.
Obviously my career would be in a much better place. But I mean, even just a little interaction like that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because
he didn't act like he was royalty. He was just Ozzy.
He was just, because I'm going to be, he felt like you were like, it was an elevator, but you were in a pub and he was just being the fucking funny guy.
Right.
It was something that stays with you. Also Lemmy, but Lemmy's another conversation.
Lemmy's a whole other kind. I met him a couple of times too.
If there was no Lemmy, again, there'd be no Metallica too.
That's right.
That was my interaction with Ozzy. And I think, I was backstage somewhere. I don't know, fucking off. But I never got as close to him as that. But I never got to meet anyone else who worked with him. I did see him play with Randy Rhoads for those 2 nights.
I would have loved to.
And then 2 weeks
to have now seen that.
That was a place called the Sunrise Musical Theater, and I think it was 10 days, 2 weeks later is when the plane happened to take Randy Rhoads down. So I was like, wow, man.
See that, and that's a whole other.
And Ozzy's lost a lot.
That's a whole other podcast. Is the Randy Rhoads Ozzy Osbourne part of this whole giant conundrum.
To take someone into your life, take someone and you become friends, but music makes you this one thing, and it's deeper than.
Well, here's the real fucked up
deeper than
part
family.
I knew I was going to ask you if you ever met Ozzy, and I didn't know the answer to the question. But when you reach a certain level in the music industry, and there's that 6 degrees of fucking Kevin Bacon.
You cross paths with everybody.
I had to think, okay, well, what are mine? I never met Ozzy, but one of my ex-girlfriends is married to Carmine Appice, who was
6 degrees of Ozzy,
in Ozzy's band. And there's a whole thing about Ozzy, Carmine and Sharon, and why Carmine didn't become Ozzy's first fucking, touring drummer, so I had that. I've met and hung out with, Zach pre-sobriety. He was a nasty motherfucker. But just those 2, that's it. Rudy Sarzo.
That's a very nice guy.
Very nice guy.
Very nice guy, man.
I expected Rudy Sarzo to be a egotistical dick because of all of the people he's played with, but he is so nice.
I made sure to say hi to him on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Oh yeah. I wanted to meet Rudy because he was just so cool, man.
He is. His whole life in pictures has been fucking cool. I don't know personally.
And his sense of style as a person, how he carries himself, but also how he plays. He started that fucking cool thing with the neck, and, one of the coolest things in my life was going back to the Blizzard of Oz tour was seeing Tommy Aldridge and hearing that Tommy Aldridge solo for the first time, which he plays in every fucking reincarnation of that band he's ever been in. But man, that was cool.
He's fucking 70. He still plays hard and heavy like that.
People play till they drop. Some of these guys are really just.
I used to joke around. Did you ever see the original Clash of the Titans movie.
Yeah, with Harry Hamlin.
Yeah, and Calibus. You remember Calibus?
Yeah.
That's Tommy Aldridge.
Come on.
I swear to, no, it's not. But if you put them side to side,
okay.
It looked like
it's uncanny. He's in the movie.
But yeah, I mean, Aldridge
it's funny.
Is fucking unreal. And see, and then you go through the band histories who's now he's in Whitesnake and has been for, 20 something fucking years. And that's another big band of huge drumming.
Yeah. Ozzy was so talented, and his the people that were in his orbit that he collected. They curated.
Yeah.
I think really great musicians, especially guitar players, will flock to what they feel is a good singer.
Yeah.
So if you're a good singer, you can carry a tune, write well, stand your ground, you will attract great musicians because everybody wants to play with the best.
Correct.
So he went through that long audition process to find Randy. Randy comes in with a little crappy ass speaker. He could just tell. It wasn't about just an overall sound. It was about the quality of the man and what he was doing. And Ozzy was smart enough to spot that, or maybe Sharon was smart enough to spot that, so.
Cause I think Ozzy at that point was
I think it was blurry.
I think it was blurry. Yeah. Because I think that it probably had to take an immense amount of mental thought to leave Black Sabbath in the first place.
Well, it's almost like they fired him.
But did they?
Well, it was
because
he wasn't welcome.
You never get to.
Yeah, he wasn't welcomed back in the book. I don't think he was welcomed back in the studio or whatever happened. He at the time he was just drinking way too much, and he was just a problem. And the story was with him is, everybody else was being just as difficult, but they chose to make him the scapegoat. Well, you got to go because you're the one that's really fucked up. So you got to step out of here.
Right,
You're going to kill us all. And then Sharon goes and loves this guy so much and also sees the potential. Her father was, the great agent, but she sees something. She loves Ozzy, so she helps build him up. Maybe she broke him down to build him up. I don't know. Yeah. But to come out of that and get your shit together enough where she's smart enough to know that this guy is something special. He created something special. He's known for doing something special. So she's going to put the best people she can around him. It takes a great guitar player. He had Tony Iommi. You need somebody who's just as good or better.
Right.
And it goes like that, man.
Brad Gillis would have never worked, although he was great.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have ever, of course I'm following up now. After Randy, now you got Brad Gillis, and then we go from Brad Gillis to.
Right. They're all trying to live up to that. Luckily, he got Jakey Lee or whatever, or.
At least Jakey Lee was himself.
Yeah. There was a certain swagger.
Yeah.
And Ozzy liked, Randy had that too, but it was more like reserved swagger. He was just like, I'm this amazing alien playing this thing, and then Jakey Lee had a lot of swagger. And then you go to Zach.
Right.
But
see this is where it got ruined for me because the Zach era was way too commercial.
Yeah.
And I felt
he brought the squeal.
Well, I felt like something happened in the songwriting here where I think that Ozzy had less control over the songs he was doing or writing or I don't know.
Well, he was always there lyrically.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if someone like Desmond Child probably helped him out on a few things because Desmond was helping everybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that Ozzy's career got resurrected, and to this point where to open up his family.
I think it was Crazy Babies. I think it was just the fucking song itself that turned me off. And I was like, okay, this is just fucking weird.
Yeah. and so we knew about Ozzy, but I think, the commercial world opened up to Ozzy from that, because Sharon was like, what can we do next? And to put their whole family on display.
That was crazy.
That was
nuts. Fucking crazy, dude, because
that gave birth to everybody
on Instagram. Actually liked him. At that
That's great. See,
so before 20 years earlier, I wasn't allowed to own an Ozzy Osbourne album.
So Dad woke up,
and then all of a sudden, my father's fucking watching the Osbournes. Like that was a holy shit moment for Ozzy in my family because my father fucking hated everything that Ozzy stood for. You know, like the fact that the guy pissed on the Alamo drove my father crazy.
Yeah. That scene in Dirt where he snorts ants or something, they say that's real, and he piss, and they're all licking it up,
licking the piss.
I mean, he was out there. He was extreme. So you live for commercially, people live their lives through him. Like it's Evil Knievel. He's like the Evil Knievel of hard rock.
He was Jackass before Jackass.
Yeah, man. And so people need someone to be, the crazy minstrel.
Well, and I think
the jester.
He enjoyed being the jester. That's the thing. Ozzy enjoyed being. I was watching something the other day. Of course, yesterday, flipping around, and there's 6 million videos going, and it shows Ozzy in. It's the Ultimate Sin tour. I think it's the Ultimate Sin tour. He was wearing like chainmail breeches or a chainmail piece or some shit. And
if his hair was poofed, it was that time.
Yeah, and he's walking around with the bucket, because his thing was to splash everybody. The thing, but it was he was young, and it was the Ozzy I missed.
Yeah,
because the Osbournes created an Ozzy that I did not necessarily want to see. I enjoyed the myth and the young Ozzy more than I did the bumbling silly
they pulled the curtain back back on the Blizzard of Oz.
And then you were saw like, Oz. Holy shit, how does this fucking guy even walk from the front door to the bathroom?
That he was the first. Black Sabbath was the first. Ozzy going out doing his thing created a really cool hard rock metal commercial aspect of things. They get the TV show. It's like they were the first to do that. Because of that, there's like everybody doing.
Then you had Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, and
it's a catalyst of a lot of other things. Yeah, but to be between Ozzy and Sharon, they were a force, man. Sabbath was a force. Ozzy and Sharon were a force, and we get to where we are now, and now he's gone. So it's like where does hard rock go from there?
I think there's probably a plethora of unreleased material.
Sure, man. I'm sure next comes the biopic.
Yeah. Oh, without doubt.
And who's going to play Ozzy?
Supposedly he picked somebody that he wanted to. I didn't finish reading the headline, but I don't know. I don't know how. He clearly knew the end was very close.
Yeah,
he had to know. He had to fucking know, because he was talking about how he was dying for at least a year.
Yeah,
but people are not going to take it seriously because it's jolly old Ozzy.
Yeah, and we live in a time when you get news, you don't know if it's real or not.
That's right.
Hence, Ozzy's dead. I'm like, what? But yeah, you're right. I think that there's going to be a lot of Ozzy stuff for the next 2 years, and hopefully people just don't forget. Someone passes away, people do forget. We lost Eddie. Those conversations are still around a little bit. You'll see posts once in a while, so.
Well, and when we lost Ronnie, that went on for a year or so.
But it makes us face the mortality, the rock of the Ozzy generation.
Sharon, do not, please, I'm begging you, no hologram.
Yeah.
No Ozzy hologram,
God.
please.
Is Kiss doing that? Is that what's going on? Anyway.
Fucking avatars or some shit. Kiss was done for me as a Kiss fan. Kiss was done for me at the last
makeup off.
No, the reunion MTV Live reunion show, because that was a real
a jerk around
fresh back of the band, and then afterwards it became a fucking caricature of the same shit that they were earlier on with the drugs and the fighting and all this other bullshit. The drama was too much.
Yeah, you see now Ozzy, I'm almost glad we got to see the real Ozzy. I'm bummed that I know that the real Kiss.
Yeah,
I get bummed about it. It just takes the shine off it.
Here's the fuck up thing about that. Do you know that until yesterday, I didn't even fucking know Ozzy had other kids with another wife?
Yeah. That's in the book. That's in the book. I see it.
Yeah, Thank you. I got to read it because I didn't even fucking know it until I saw it in the news thing. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, but we got Ozzy on the Osbournes. But did we get Ozzy? Because there's a whole other family.
Right.
Did he not have any contact with the other part of the family? I didn't know about it.
He always maintained contact with they were still friends.
Were they? Yeah.
And with the kids, because it's in the book. So I am Ozzy.
I'm going to read the book. Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot about that too. And I
mean, I knew about Amy because they talked about how she didn't want to be part of the show.
So, going back to that, I believe as he was, you always have somebody with you on the struggle up usually.
Yeah.
That's your partner. And then sometimes, you get to where you need to be or you want to be, then things get weird and people get pushed out.
Right.
And that doesn't last. So I guess, he was really drinking a lot. And again, all that. He did some violent things.
Were you married before?
I was married for, a couple of years. I gave it a shot.
I think that it's just so fucking weird because hindsight, when you think about yourself, your life as choosing your life as a musician and how that completely affected the first marriage in your life. Like for me, it shaped my entire first marriage and it was a marriage. It became a situation in which where I believed more in myself than she believed because you also have a family. So now, there are stages of importance that need to come into that.
So you have this hobby.
Yeah. Yes.
That now how can the hobby be? Yeah. How can the hobby be real?
Yeah. And, that was my life in the first marriage. It was always fighting over, I need this or I need that, or how do I come up with money for this or come up with that? Why are you spending money on this?
Oh, then it's all about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really not because it's what I envisioned my life to be.
Right.
I never kept that a secret, and I'd be more than, so I get that whole aspect of like Ozzy's first marriage and not knowing about it because that's probably what she went through.
Yeah, they went through a lot of dark stuff. He started drinking a lot back then, so obviously, that was between, I don't know how long they were divorced before Sharon and him hooked up.
I don't think long. If I remember this, I don't know. It's all hearsay. Read so many interviews and stories and things that I never know what's.
But he was a regular. He had his journey like any guy does. You make your mistakes, and but he had some great successes, which made the people that were in his life, they had a hard time dealing with it, I guess.
Yeah, but his craziness.
But Sharon was in the business.
Right.
So she knew crazy.
How to capitalize.
So only a person like Sharon, it's funny how people the kismet of people meeting, two people meeting for whatever reason, and they're supposed to be together because they fit.
Yeah. They
counter each other. If one's a hard ass, one can soften them up a little bit. It goes back and forth, Marriage isn't, I know guys that are great at being married. For me, it was just like 3 years. I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a common law guy.
Okay.
I'm
better at it, way better at it in the second now.
Right.
Than I was when I was younger.
But now that I know you and I've met her and I was at your wedding and all that, again, it takes that special person. So you're going to make mistakes, man.
Oh yeah.
You're going to make mistakes, but marriage is like, me and Susie, we're married.
Yeah,
we're just married, and we've been together long enough where that's how we are. I always ask and she says no. No,
really?
But she goes, we don't need paper. And she's right. We don't need paper, but we do have, you got to get the whole, the will where someone can sign for you when you're on your deathbed. Cause I don't want my brother pulling the plug right away.
No, but it's funny because it tells you how our societies have changed so much drastically is that, like when we got married, we didn't even bother to change our name. We're like, what's the point? Like there's no necessity to have to go through all the crazy bullshit with the taxes and, change. Now she's got to buy a new license and change credit cards and change banking and fuck that. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah. It gets too business.
The only thing that matters to my marriage is me and her.
That's it, man.
Nothing else matters.
We're going on a whole different topic, but it all makes sense because of Sharon.
Well, yeah, because he was smart in the fact that he knew that he was not smart enough to do the business side of what he needed. And she had all the fucking experience. I mean, you got to remember that the whole time she was growing up, she was sitting listening to her father wheel and deal.
A strong man,
in the music business. And then she comes in and she's got this reputation of being a fucking bitch. But no, Is she a bitch, or is she just protecting her husband and protecting their business?
That's it. If someone goes to war for you, if someone's going to go to war for you, they're going to go to war for you.
That's the problem with our business, is that the people that, once you reach some sort of success, there are so many leeches trying to grab onto you that you have to be protective, and you become an asshole.
Oh, you can only imagine the stuff that Sharon and Ozzy went through.
Fuck no, I can't imagine.
You don't. I mean, how do you know who your real friends are? That's a whole trick.
I don't think there's any way that you do, and that is why you see his relationships with songwriters change so much over the years. Is because I don't think that it's possible to be that level of fame and fortune and rich.
And it's a matter of trust, and giving people your trust and your time too. You know, everybody wants something from somebody. When you go to LA, it's a very thirsty business.
Yes.
You know, and there's people that are just the artists, and people that leech off the artist.
Right. So, well, and it's the same. Yeah. And when you say artist, I immediately you got to turn to all arts, especially when you're looking at LA, is that there's when you have a one person, the public sees the one person, but there is 45 people behind that person.
Oh yeah.
Creating that persona, pushing that, you know, there's a team of photographers, a team of videographers, a team of fucking publicists, a team of fucking or graphic artists, you know. When you get to that point now, you're not even in control of what the fuck's going on, unless you're Sharon Osbourne.
Right, exactly. She's amazing, man. And just the fact that they, again, back to that gig that they put together, and the people that they let be a part of it, the people that I'm sure just wanted to be a part of it because they just wanted to be part of something.
And they got put together fast. Or it felt like it got put together fast. Yeah. Right? I feel like from the point of announcement to the point of concert was a month.
What is the connection to Jason Momoa? What was that about?
I don't know.
I know he plays bass in a band or something.
Well, whether he really plays, I don't know. You know, he's a beefcake with a bass.
It's like, does Keanu really play or not? That's actually a good band.
Somewhere along the way in his career, as it started taking off beyond, you know, the Aquaman thing, all of a sudden he starts showing up in like Harley commercials, and you know, he's a biker, he's a
metal dude, man.
He's a metal guy. He's hanging out with Metallica. He's hanging out with these guys and those guys. So I guess you got to bring him in.
Man.
Soak the girls.
You know, and let's talk about Pantera real quick on the back to the beginning. Pantera kind of stepped in for me. I feel like because Metallica had stepped down for a while, so Metallica became this. Pantera became this huge thing, and from that gig, you know, 6 Degrees of Ozzy. So Zach is now Dimebag Darrell,
right,
in Pantera, and Pantera has such a huge presence in culture the way Metallica does. Right. They're just more kind of a little bit of still underground stuff. Because they don't have a huge commercial success. Right. When you see how big that song Respect is. Yeah. Or, you know, whatever that's Walk.
But you know what's
it's ingrained in commercials and everything. Tell me.
They're not, that is not Pantera for me. Right. I grew up in Texas, and the Pantera that I know is the pre Cowboys from Hell Pantera.
We talked about that before. That's the one that I know.
Everything after, it's like, it's a whole different band. It's not even fucking close to the same thing.
Which brings me to what I was going to say. So there was a lot of hype with Pantera playing.
Yeah.
But when they hit, it was like, it kind of thudded to me a little bit.
Did it?
Yeah, it wasn't because you need to be in that crowd to feel that kind of energy.
Yeah, you got to let the bass hit you.
Yeah, and it just didn't hit me the way it did like when I saw it with Dimebag. And it's a different thing.
That's another thing too, is that you're not watching. You are watching something that you're attributing to guys that are no longer there.
Yeah,
you know, Vinny and Dime not being in that band. That was the only part of Pantera that made Pantera Pantera.
Yeah,
from the beginning until the end. And so you take those two guys out of it, and it's the voice.
Yeah, and you know,
it's the bass, but it's not even the bass because Rex not in the can't play, right?
It's weird, man. It just felt like something was a little off in the performance. Yeah. But Phil was crazy, right? We just had thing. He's like, you know, I just got out of jail. I'm gonna fuck somebody up.
Flip flops, almost. Yeah,
it's great, man.
Well, the cool thing about Phil is he is what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
he's the same guy on camera as he is off camera.
Yeah, I did get to meet him. Name drop. I did get to meet him. He was very nice, and I met. Dimebag was really nice.
I didn't get to meet him.
He was cool, man. I met him at my friend's bar back in New York City back in the day. They were on hiatus from whatever, and I just left Spread, and I was looking for gigs. And I asked him if he knew anybody. He said, "You got a good set of pipes, man." I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking cool." They also was going to ask you the supergroup stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to the show real quick.
Yeah.
Is it what's his name? Billy Corgan from Pumpkins?
Stop.
He ruined that song for me, man.
Ruined it. I could never handle the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Actually, Billy Corgan is a great podcast host.
Yes.
Fucking terrible frontman. I can't handle it. But that's personal. That's a personal opinion. Clearly,
yeah. I was
people
around.
liked them. You know,
I was around when they shot the thing because they were on a tour with Soundgarden and Pearl Jam. No, sorry. Screaming Trees. And they were lower on the bill, and as their single went up the charts, when they came around town again, they were at
top of the bill.
It was amazing, man. But I was like, why is he singing a song that's out of his register?
Yeah.
And he's just, it was just weird to see him.
I would love to know. That's something that we're going to get in the DVD. I want to know the information, like how were songs chosen? Who chose the songs?
Right.
Did Sharon have a list of songs and say, or did Ozzy create a list of songs and then Sharon went about saying, okay, Metallica, I want you to do these and, blah, blah, blah. Or did the bands, this is the hardest part of, like, as a cover band, choosing songs. How the fuck do you choose? How do you choose what you're going to do? If they say to you, we want Spread Eagle on the Ozzy tribute bill, you got to pick a Sabbath song.
Oh, yeah.
What song?
NIB.
NIB?
Just like that. Yeah. NIB.
That easy.
Oh, dude, that's, let's talk about our favorite Sabbath song, which is hard to do.
Right.
But if I had to choose, for me, it's NIB. Something in the bass line hits me, the vocal melody, the phrasing, it's just a perfect song.
Okay. I might do Sweet Leaf.
Oh man, that's see, I mean, it's hard to choose, but it's right there, man. That going down. I fucking love that song.
Or if I thought that I could do it justice, I might do something like Hole in the Sky or
that's hard.
That's way up there in the register.
I'm sure Billy Corgan would have no problem singing it.
Yeah.
You just tear that shit up, man.
My earplugs.
Yeah, but I thought I thought that was strange. Obviously Youngblood doing changes was awesome. Nuno got to play with everybody. That dude he is dialed in.
He's that good.
Yeah, he's dialed in, man.
Yeah.
He's a real nice guy too.
Yeah.
When you meet him, he's really nice.
I only got to walk past. I got to meet Gary, but Nuno
super nice guy. Gary's super nice. But Nuno, he's cool. You think he wouldn't be approachable, but he's very reserved and approachable. What other guitar players? The guy from Tool played in the first one, I think.
I don't remember all the jams. There was a lot.
He doesn't look like he even enjoys playing. He's just like he's so expressionless. The guy from Tool.
Yes.
I forgot his name. It draws. But I was like, is this guy having a good time?
But he looks like that in Tool too. He's just like, yeah.
He's either just computing too much math in his head and what's coming next is what it is, man. But the Steven Tyler thing was very cool.
Although.
But he didn't do a Sabbath song, did he?
We were talking about that before we started. It was that, he did. Why no Sabbath songs? Why did you come and do Aerosmith tunes? For one, that kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
And the other thing that led me to, there's so much nonsensical bullshit in the Aerosmith, camp.
Yeah.
That I never know what the fuck is the truth and whatever is not the truth, because supposedly he couldn't sing.
That's right.
And holy shit, that motherfucker had no problem singing on that stage.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Brian Johnson who couldn't hear and he had to go through all these fucking steps in order to get his hearing back to sing again. Well, we didn't hear any of that shit with Steven Tyler. What happened?
Yeah.
How did he go from not being able to sing and canceling these fucking final performances to all of a sudden now being able to sing? And the Joe Perry Project is out touring with Chris Robinson. And, what the fuck is going on? So
a lot of fake news, brother.
These are all the emotions that come out to me. It's not just oh my God, this was such an awesome concert. It's all these other things that affect. It doesn't sound like it affects my life, but it does, because Aerosmith's a huge part of my life. Ozzy's a huge part of my life still to this day. It's not fanboyism. It's the makeup of me.
Yeah, it's in your musical DNA, man. You know, we grew up on this stuff, so it's a part of us.
You know, so for me, I get very picky and choosy. Like when I was going through what to watch and what I wanted to capture, and there were some, I don't know. It's fucking hard because
there's so much. Yeah,
there's so much. Like they really could have done a 3 or 4 day fucking concert.
Yeah, well, like I said before, man, I'm sure that would have been like an awesome, like a Live Aid kind of thing, you know. But logistically, that's a lot of work.
$200 million, dude. That's a lot of fucking money in a day. Like in a day, they made $200 million. It
was like 190
and change, or you know, whatever.
We'll keep a little bit.
Yeah, no. Well, you got to figure on any of that. That's just what they gave to charity.
Yeah.
So if it made more than that, you know, when you're dealing with a charity, 75% of what you make is you're allowed to use for logistical purposes.
Yeah, I mean, getting bands around, all that stuff, housing everybody. Wow,
that's a lot.
It's quite.
So you know that they flew everybody in because the artist doesn't have to pay for that. So they flew everyone in, they put everybody up, they fed everyone. So they got per diems, they got, you know, all the shit that a famous fucking person in a band would get for all of those artists. Now, not only, maybe they chartered a plane and everybody made it to one destination. I don't know. We'll find that out. Yeah. Stuff out later. But all those artists, all that fee, all that went into it, plus the TV production costs, so the streaming or whatever the fucking pay-per-view production costs, which gets put into that too.
Yeah.
We're not going to know what they made off of merchandise for a while.
Yeah, and I'm also surprised on the same topic that they didn't do, you know, another one here or schedule something in the States, which was what I thought what they would do. But too. It's like it's a UK thing. It's Black Sabbath or some there, and that's it.
Yeah. Although if they would have done one here, they probably would have equaled just as much as they did there. I would guarantee that if they'd have done it in the same week, one there and one here,
yeah,
that they would have doubled their money.
They would have made heavy metal.
Because I think people still would have. I knew people that flew there to go, you know, so it was like.
But it's, you know, those things are special. That's why it's such a special event, and it was a one-time thing. And
well, I think about that now, and I do miss that part of my life. Like I can't afford to do that, or I couldn't afford to go to the last Kiss concert. I would have loved to have been at the last. You got to concert. But you
got to refinance everything to go to a show, man.
I don't have $2,000 to spend on just a ticket.
I never understood that. I mean, I get a lot, you know, people, their kids are gone, they got some money. I know people that they go to concerts and they travel and they enjoy that, but they got wealth.
Right.
So yeah, I miss it. That's part of our childhood, man.
Yeah, but you can't get there because you're a fucking musician. Right. We were working stiffs.
The only way you get this if you're playing.
We never got to save the money because it cost us the money to put on the show that we. That's the fucked up part of the whole thing is that there's really everyone thinks that you're a musician, you must do fucking great. You're blah blah blah. No way. You have no fucking idea how much goes into just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, I've given everything, every ounce of blood, and every dollar to what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm even in a, we're talking about us now, but I'm in a position now where I do have gigs coming up. And from now till April of next year, when we do this Play on the Boat, this Monsters of Rock thing, you know, you just give your life to it's almost like one day at a time.
Right. It has to be.
It's one day at a time, man. It really is. It's hard. It's the hardest life I can imagine, but I wouldn't rather do it any other way.
Yeah.
You know, you have your way of doing things, and I just keep gambling.
Yeah,
I keep gambling with the house's money.
I know. I do the same thing.
You know,
I'm going to gamble with. I feel like I put enough time and work into my talents that it's worth me gambling on it.
And I say that because you do well. I think you do really well.
I could do better. If I wish that I had $10,000 to invest.
Yeah,
which could do wonders, or get a business grant or some kind of a thing that would allow me to take it a step further. But the truth is I don't want things ever to come easy. That's not the life.
Yeah.
I'm too old at this point now. At 54 years old and having done this since I was 20, I'm 19, younger. So my first professional gig was probably at 16 years old. So let's say from 16 to 54 fucking years old, this has been my life. If it came easy at this point, I don't think that I would find it fulfilling.
Yeah, I mean, I've done.
I like to work at it. I like to wake up in the morning and.
Oh, it's what? It's torrential rains outside.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's crazy.
No, you're right. Because I think you give your all to it, man. I don't know your day-to-day workings of it. You know, I hear you speak to me about it, but I think we go through the same thing. It's just that I've given every ounce of energy. You know, and the reason I stepped away from my career is because I became a professional drug addict for many years. Right. You know, and so when I did have the money to spend on promotion and things, it went to drugs.
Yeah.
You know, so I've dug myself out of a hole, which is why I relate to the whole Ozzy Osbourne thing, to trying to rebuild yourself to get back out there and do the work.
You know what's fucked up about him though is that was the thing that I was trying to remember about guys in the music business. Like I remember the first time I watched the Osbournes and I heard him speak in this complete sentence. And I realized I had to rewind it like 3 times to figure out what the fuck he was saying. And then it became the joke, you know, like Ozzy, you know, he's so fucked up he can't even speak when he's sober. And I honestly didn't think he was ever sober. Like the whole time I never thought that. I didn't think he must have done so much. I met a couple of guys. Like I met Slash while he was fucking hammered and he sounded like Ozzy. I met Ace Frehley when he was hammered and he sounded like Ozzy.
Yeah. We do a lot of damage, man.
A lot of damage. And that's the hard part, is that it's the climbing out of it. But there's a reason why that people don't get to actually see, is they don't understand what the constant day-to-day battle. It's a battle every day. Yeah. Not the drug thing, but the battle to when you wake up in the morning, you have to put on a narcissist hat. And it's not easy to be a narcissist. It's not easy to act like a narcissist when it's not in your nature to be a narcissist.
Right.
And so it makes it very difficult to get through the process of being the artist.
Well, people sometimes will think you're something that you're not.
Correct.
You just want to be treated like a regular person.
Correct.
No matter what level you're at. It's when, you know, all the bands here, all their assholes.
My friend, just because you like me, not because I'm singing in front of your friends or whatever, you know, whatever the fuck the case can be. That becomes a very big contingent, an issue for me all the time, because I don't know. I have a hard time reading people, and there's a lot of people that want to just be your friend, to be your close to the, I don't know, the spotlight.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Situation. I'm not trying to make myself out to sound more important than I am, but in any musician band situation where there's any kind of popularity, you know, you get that. You're very lonely because you're very guarded all the time. You don't know where people's intentions are coming from. Are they there because they want you to play for them for a benefit for fucking less money? Are they there for you because they like to be known as the guy that hangs out with the band? Are you the chick that's hanging out with them because she wants to be seen with the singer of XYZ? You know, there's so many fucking things that go along with that whole.
I can add to that real quick. What's happened with me is I've done my gig a lot of years.
Yeah.
You know, so I've collected some really genuine friends. The people that stuck with me through that entire thing, those are my friends.
Those are your friends.
You know, the ones that care about me and call me. And when I'm at my lowest, it's a very small amount of people.
Yeah.
You know, and so you know who your real friends are.
Yeah. Right? But you have to keep it small.
Yeah. And you have to learn to read people.
Yeah.
Because you know who's sincere and who's not.
I don't think I could not have functioned with the stardom of an Ozzy Osbourne.
I think that's why he turned to, you know, the drinking and all. I mean, it's people handle it different ways.
Yeah.
You know, no one's equipped for that kind of thing. I know what it's like to have. I know it's like to have a room full of people.
Right.
You know, be like, hey, man. You know, they come up to you and you have the light for a moment, and sometimes that doesn't last. You know, it's not real.
But think about the, like, all right, we'll turn this back to what I had said before about I have a couple of friends that cried that he died. Imagine having that impact.
Oh yeah, man.
But the person never met you. I've never met you in your life. I don't know anything about you other than your fucking name and what's been portrayed to me on television and your music.
Let me. I know what that feels like on a smaller level.
Yeah.
Because doing Spread for the past 3 years and meeting people that when we were someone's high school band, which cracks me up. The way I thought of Van Halen when I was a kid, there are people that
think of you.
They think the band is, something that was in their life, and they will say things that will blow your fucking mind. You changed my life or something like that.
Right.
That shit fucks with your head. And I'm doing this on a small scale.
Correct.
But something you write helps somebody through something. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real.
And you see when they look at you, it's not a rehearsal act. They're looking at you straight in the eyes like they fucking understand you.
Yeah.
There's something you wrote.
And the beauty of that is that that out of the, say, out of 1 million people that hear a song, there's only a handful that it touches.
Those
like the people that listen to the lyric and internalize the lyric and make it something to themselves. Like that's a holy shit moment. That's why it's worth spending my life putting my money into it.
Just that you affected somebody.
Yeah.
And then, then you find that you affect some more people. You're like, oh man, okay. So you go to fucking Oslo, Norway, and like, are you serious? Oh, I fucking love you, band when I was a kid, so and so. I'm like
Norway. I was not when I
You think I was going to go to Norway?
No, but you think to yourself, you look at that situation and you're like, I'm a kid that grew up playing on the New York City fucking streets, but there's people in Norway.
It's
that
crazy,
own my
man.
fucking record, and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
I mean, Spread stepped away from the business because, anybody that stayed in the business that at least got a little bit of rotation or that could have been in that, you have a job for life.
Right.
So I stepped out of that. So it's hard to earn people's favor again and to get in the mix and get in people's good graces. They want to trust you.
Doesn't look too hard.
It's
like you're
fun.
Doing pretty goddamn
well, now
good.
I'm enjoying it, but they want to trust that if you come into their lives, you're not going to leave again.
Right.
And
okay.
it's trippy.
Actually,
man. It's like people
I would have never thought of that. I would never have thought of that. That is a thought process in a fan's mind.
Sure, man. It's like, I'm going to be into this band. I'm really getting into this band, and all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
Well, why are they gone?
Okay.
Did someone become an asshole?
You know what? Maybe you're right. Actually, I think, when I think about it, I probably felt that way about Guns N' Roses.
Sure, man.
You know, like now, every incarnation of Guns N' Roses is still not Guns N' Roses to me. So
yeah. You gave us this cool work of art,
and then
right, and then you said you decided to be an asshole, and he was too drunk to fucking deal with you. And come on, man, I love you guys. What happened to you guys? It becomes personal.
It very much becomes personal.
Kiss.
Because that first fucking Appetite for Destruction album for me was one of those holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Musical changing moments. That was like, oh my God. First time I fucking heard it was on one of the Dirty Harry movies. Jim Carrey plays this fucking character, and it's the Welcome to the Jungle is the song that he's pretending to be the singer for.
Okay.
And they're shooting a video. And I heard the song and I was like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it was like the Stones on steroids.
Yeah,
like, holy
and then,
shit.
I had to try to do I had to do research because we didn't have the internet. So I had to figure out what the fuck the song was, because the soundtrack wasn't out for Dirty Harry movie. You couldn't go buy a soundtrack for that.
Right, man.
And then within a couple of months, fucking all of a sudden, Appetite for Destruction is out and it's everywhere.
And they're blowing Motley Crue off the stage, man. Without all the lights and the shit. They did the coolest thing, and I'll stop.
We're not on Ozzy anymore.
You know how bands in arena shows, they black out the stage and then the band comes in and then boom, right? What Guns N' Roses did when I saw them, maybe if you I don't know if you saw this tour or not, but it was their first tour with Crue. So like all the house lights are up. And you're like, oh, when's the band coming on? You see the guys just walking out, go, holy shit, that's the fucking band coming on. Everybody walks up front, and when Axl walked to the front, they dropped the lights and they went into fucking It's So Easy.
Right.
It was down. I was like, oh my God, this is raw, man. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What did you think of Guns N' Roses on Back to the Beginning? I know. Yeah. I know you're looking at it vocally too.
Axl has become a caricature.
Yeah.
And I have this problem with he's got the whitest motherfucking teeth on the planet. and yeah, granted, you get to
he's rock and roll rich.
There, yeah, and it's like, I don't know. There's too many distractions. Whether it be I feel like he's got a fake tan, or that he's got like the midsection of Elon Musk.
It doesn't look sincere.
It doesn't look sincere,
and that bothers me.
Yeah.
I'm sure other people will feel differently if you do.
No,
write it in. But
we all have our fucking right to an opinion, and then nobody's saying don't go listen to Guns N' Roses. But I do feel like there is a sincerity missing in Guns N' Roses.
Well, I relate in the sense that when he did his first album, those vocals are acrobatic.
Right.
They're acrobatic. So to have to recapture that.
You can't
over and over is only when he's taken time off, like he did from those kind of performances. But man, to watch him go out there and try to be, I know he did the gig for AC/DC and he seemed to be having a good rasp there. It's just like he lost his high end rasp, so it sounds like this kind of Mickey Mousey falsetto.
Yeah, but they haven't stopped touring now in how many fucking years?
And so I was just like, how does he handle all that stuff? And it was just like it just missed by a small mark for me. I just missed the rasp. But there was something that was off about the performance.
But I feel the same way ever since James Hetfield took singing lessons.
Oh, now they're like, because now he seems polished.
It's not the same.
Now he seems polished. Yeah,
like the fucking Ride the Lightning album is so goddamn raw.
Yeah,
and then Master of Puppets is so raw, and then I start to get into the Enter Sandman, sing-songy, nothing else matters stuff, and I'm like, this is not the same Metallica anymore. And granted, over the course of it's how I'm going to circle.
One sings too well, one's not singing perfect enough.
But you go back to it. Fucking Ozzy was Ozzy from the beginning to the end.
Yeah,
it was the same. He never changed. It was the same Ozzy from the beginning, first Black Sabbath, to the end Ozzy, last song that he fucking recorded.
Right. And can I add, and can we talk about Ozzy's vocal style? Because Ozzy did something, he represented something cool, which is he had a great tone. And he didn't have to go do a scream for bullshit.
He stayed mid-range.
He just sang, and it was so fucking cool. And the old school is, for some reason, a lot of cats just feel like you're a good singer if you can do these high fucking screams. But it's about how you sing.
Right.
It's tonality. Some people's voices you just can't handle after a while, so they gotta scream something. Because their tone is so fucking annoying. Or, you know what I mean?
Or the only way to reach the note for them is to scream it.
Or this vocal's so boring. Right. And so it's cool that Ozzy just had to sing. There's many schools of thought on vocals and what makes a great vocal performance or not. But I thought Axl, who's a great fucking frontman and singer, was just a little bit different from what I remember. And Ozzy still had the tone there. And that blew my mind, him singing NIB, which I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, he's going to suck. It doesn't matter. The fact that he's there was everything.
Right.
Just like I told you with David Lee Roth back when I saw him at M3, he wasn't just there. He was working hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Axl, it looks like he's working hard. I'm not sure if he means it.
Yeah.
Ozzy's sitting in a chair and that he means it.
That was the hardest part for me, was the Ozzy sitting in a chair.
Cause you saw him wanting to get up. He's like, man, I got so much energy.
Like, it fucking hurts, but it hurts for it.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm saying that it cheapens the show. It doesn't. It hurts for me as a spectator to watch. I did this. I told this story once before that I had seen BB King on his last fucking tours, and he was sitting in a chair while he played.
I saw Ed James. She was sitting too.
And it hurt. It's not that I was disappointed. It hurt me to have to see a human being in that position.
Right.
And still, when they reach that age and they're out there still playing, a lot of times it's because of the money. They need the money to survive.
Yeah.
BB King did not die a multi-billionaire or millionaire like some of these guys did. So he was out working the circuit to pay for his mortgage and, like we are now.
Yeah, it's hard to see your cool people you look up to, you admire, the artist, diminish physically.
Oh yeah,
because it reminds
fucked me up to see.
Oh yeah, that's a whole thing, man. That's a whole episode on what's cool and what's not cool.
Right.
Just the cool episode, which I always think is a great topic. What is really cool? What does cool mean? Some people's, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Some people think they have to be cool.
What I'm worried
Just be
about
fucking
now,
cool.
though, is going to be the overabundance of everything Ozzy.
Yeah,
and you're going to see the fucking. There's going to be a whole new series of fucking Ozzy Osbourne pop dolls. There's going to be every tribute. There's going to be 130,000 fucking booked tribute bands for Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
And then you can have the old Ozzy and the young Ozzy and the fucking little Ozzy. And I made this joke with this the other day, and Elvis Ozzy, and maybe we'll get a dreadlocked Ozzy. And it's going to be Ozzy overload, and that I don't want.
Right. That's why we just have to hang on to what's real and what's cool.
Yeah. Be the. I hope that people will separate the commercialism of the death of Ozzy from the artist and go and celebrate the artist, not the commercialism.
I think that's what that concert was about too. Just trying to get to what's real. And also, just before we cut out, because we're probably got to cut out soon. I realize that.
We go an hour and 40 minutes, brother.
We can gab. We're singers. We gab. You know what I mean? Singer folk gab, man. But just what you were saying about watching our heroes sort of fail physically, even Knievel at the end, that was terrible. But it reminds people of their own mortality.
Oh, 100%.
And here today, gone tomorrow, man. But
we're in a place right now where ageism is a very big realism when you're watching president. What we went through with Biden, what we're going through with all of our guys. It's an issue. It's becoming an issue because nobody wants to. My father was an old man at 50. I'm not. You're not.
Yeah.
We're a different group of people at 50 and 60 and 70 years old these days than we were then. And then all of a sudden, 70 to 80, it's like a fucking hardly hit the wall.
And there is a war. There's a rock and roll generation of people, and then there's everybody else that are fucking freaks. You know what I mean? And it's a battle of wills, man. Someone's got to win, and it's got to continue the best way. So
here's what we're gonna do before we end because we're gonna end today. We did get off on a lot of subjects, but that's what music and friends do, and we hope you
do the weave, man.
Enjoy that.
The weave.
The number one thing that we want you to walk away with today is we end the podcast, immediately go to YouTube and listen to NIB and listen to Youngblood's Changes. And that's the music the homework I want you guys to take from today. We say listen to NIB because that's Ray's favorite song. Listen to Changes because that is the kids of today keeping the music alive. He's releasing it, by the way. He's recording it and releasing it.
Of course, he better.
I can't wait, and I will support the kids doing full Sabbath in the future.
Yeah, man. And he's a sincere dude, it seems like. So
yeah. All right, homies. Later.
Thanks for hanging.
Tell me how you dirty little secret.